Okay, I just finished building my VR rig. So it's the Corsair 380T case. And go around to the back. So I have 750 watt PSU. And there's Wi-Fi on the motherboard, which you get this aerial, which is pretty cool because it pops out, but it's also magnetic, which I really like that. So I can move it to another location if need be, but most of the time it'll probably just stay stuck to the back of the computer. So then we have the GTX. It's an Asus 970 graphics card, and what I'll do is I'll just pop off the panel here. So you can see the graphics card installed there. This little switch here, there's actually an LED light, you can just see it there. So when the computer is running, it actually lights up the motherboard underneath. You can see the motherboard there. Put my solid state there. So it's a Samsung 250 gig or 512 gigabyte drive. It's one of the drives with the 3D NAND memory. I have additional bays there then to mount 3.5 inch, but there is another bay in the back there to mount another solid state. And I kept one cable over here just in case I want to quickly run it in here without having to take my cable management system to pieces. This screw here allows you to take out this whole entire bay, which is good to work on, and also very, very handy if you need more room for cable management or anything like that. So what I'll do is I'll spin it around here. Even just from the point of view of holding the handle, it's pretty cool. It's kind of rubber feeling underneath. There's kind of these dimples, and there's loads of room for my hand. I've seen people doing reviews where they can't fit their hand down into it, but they must have joint hands or something like that, because there's loads of room there for me. And pop off this side panel as well. Second, I'll just leave this there. So you can see I pinned my cables back as best as I could. So it's fairly neat, I suppose, considering. If I was going to rebuild again, I would have picked a different power supply unit, because on my other computer I have a power supply where you literally connect the cables to the power supply. So when you're finished building them, say for example, you only have the cables that you need inside the case, and you don't have to try and hide all this junk. The brackets that were there for the water cooling are handy as well, just for, you know, routing cables around on. And there's the motherboard inside there. Can't really see, I suppose, with the light. Maybe if I tip it. I went with the stock CPU cooler. Now I've obviously fired this thing up already, and it's very, very quiet. So I'm not worried too much about noise in any sense at all, because the whole entire computer is very quiet. Temperature wise, you know, I have other CPU coolers here in my other computer, and there is a difference in the temperature between the stock ones and the more premium ones, but it's not a whole lot for some reason or other. So I'm not going to overclock this machine, so there's no point, I suppose, in putting in a different CPU cooler. You see how we go though. I might put one in eventually, but it's easy to access anyway. You can literally put your hand in and get access, so these pop out. But you'd probably have to take the motherboard out to put it in anyway, because of the bracket you have to put on the back. But to quite honestly, I'm not really worried about cooling at the moment. I'll give it some time. I'll run it and see what sort of temperatures I'm getting, and if it becomes an issue, we'll upgrade the CPU cooler. But as I'm saying, as it goes right now, what tests I've done so far, there's no issues. So we spin around the front, and so that's my front there. This is another panel. If you kind of push it here, it actually comes off. So, and then you have your fan there. It's your 140mm fan. So you put two 120s into it, or one 140 or one 200, which is kind of stupid out of Crossair. They should have just put the 200mm fan in it. If they're only going to give you one, put the bigger one in, you know, considering what the case cost. But that was the only real kind of dumb thing about the whole case, in my opinion. There's actually some sort of an LED light system up in the case up here. So when it's all powered on, the fan glows red, and this part here all glows red. All these panels here then glow red, the buttons, and the actual writing, the little microphone logo and the headphone logo, they all light up as well, which is really nice. Then you can set the speed for the fans to run that. I'll have to do a temperature check then again to see what's the difference really between running low and high, see if there is much of an advantage. And I'm going to just show you one thing. These little cables here, when I was building the computer, these weren't even referenced in the manual as to what their actual function was. So I assumed that they were for LED lighting, because they're literally coming from the front panel here just to here. So I assumed that they were actually just for powering the lights on the front. And I was forever trying to figure out how to connect one of those to an ITX motherboard, because you only get one system fan socket on a motherboard, which is there. So I was worried then because of the fact that I had to try to get some sort of Molex converter to try and fit these so I could power the lights. But when I powered it up, all the lights came on anyway. So I actually figured out in the end that they're actually power supplies. So what it's actually doing is it's pulling the power from the one there with the blue tie clip on it. It's actually pulling power from USB 3 to power the front lights. And then you can actually run your fans off of this same socket. So the USB 3 socket is literally powering the lights and the fans, the additional fans. So I was able to plug in the front fan here into that, and the fan then on the back is literally connected to the system fan of the motherboard. I'll have to take a photograph when it's powered up just so you see the lights, because you won't see it on the camera, video camera. I'll have to do a proper photograph just so you can see the glow out of it. It's quite nice. I've already tested it up. I've fired up Oculus Rift on it already. I'm running Windows 7 on it because I don't like the idea of Windows 10 not allowing me to disable automatic updates. I want the system to be always the same, if you know what I mean. Like, so the only way to do that now, thanks to Microsoft, is to use Windows 7. So if I go with Windows 10, they just update everything on me automatically, which I don't want. So we tested it anyway so far, and I'm extremely impressed. I was using an Alienware. It's an Alienware laptop with SLI, and it was high end. The Alienware nearly cost twice what this cost. But no, the difference this has made to speed for Oculus Rift is just insane. All judder I experienced in heavy applications is gone. It's super smooth. So I'm looking forward to sitting down and actually really testing gameplay on it and other VR experiences that I'm actually creating myself that I had problems with on my Alienware laptop. But so that's it. I'm absolutely delighted. It's a good case. I couldn't criticize it in any way at all. As I said, the only thing I would have done differently is I would have used a different power supply unit so that I could disconnect the cables that I didn't need, and just to keep my cable management a bit more neat, tidy. And because of the actual fact that it's completely see-through, I might put some additional lighting into it, because you can actually see the GPU. You look down, But on the other side it's not so pretty because you can see the cables. So I might mount an LED strip here and on the same on the other side. We'll see how we go. Weight wise, it's light enough, you know, considering it is a desktop computer. It's actually pretty balanced for some strange reason. I would have thought that it would have been, you know, more heavy to one side than the other, but no, it seems pretty balanced weight wise as well. So you can literally just catch it in the middle and it just feels natural to carry it that way. Okay, I'll stop blabbing on at that. We'll leave it at that. So I'll upload some photographs of the build. You can catch them in the link and you can see in detail then. You'll get some high-res shots out of that. So all in all, it's an amazing virtual reality portable rig for me. So I'm very, very happy with my investment. Cheers, bye.